Alex in
Hi,
Iowa.
Alex.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. You're talking to Eric and Jenna. Hello. So, what
Can
would
you hear us?
I can. Can you?
Yes.
Yes, you were coming in a little low, but I think you're fine now. What would you like to talk about today?
Hi. Well, actually, I just kind of wanted to talk about the relationship between kind of the atheist, skeptical, scientific community and the religious community.
Cool.
Which is a community. I kind of feel like I'm a person that lives in both of those worlds.
How so?
I'm a religious person, and I have been all my life. At the same time, I also, am a real follower of science and believe in scientific literacy and critical thinking, amazed at some of the things that people believe and read off the internet. And it's like, oh, come on, please.
Don't
do
that.
Come on.
No.
Exactly. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So, and I just, the past, 5 to 10 years, that relationship just seems to have just blown up and become a lot more contentious. And I was like thinking through why. And I think a lot of the blame for that falls a lot more on the theist Christian side than it does the other side.
So what do you believe?
About the relationship or my religious beliefs.
What are your religious beliefs?
Well, before we dive right into it, it sounded like he was going to make a point about the relationships between.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to
exactly.
cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And like I said, it's just I think a lot of that falls on the theist side, just because as a whole, or maybe not as a whole, but the loudest members of that community have not done a very good job at promoting scientific literacy. In fact, they've done their best to suppress it.
Hey, Alex?
We have yes.
I just wanted to tell you, I'm taking a look at the live chat, and everybody's rooting for you. It sounds like you're a little nervous. Take a breath. It's okay. Everyone here is happy that you've called in, and the comments that I'm getting are, dude, it's okay. Take a breath. You're good. We're happy. We're good.
Thank you.
I promise.
Thank you. Yeah, I've never really called. Well, thank you. I've never really called into anything like this before. So
You're doing well.
kudos.
Yeah. So no sweat. We're not mean.
Try not to be.
We try not to be, but.
Right.
Yeah. So you were saying that. I'm sorry that I cut you off, but it sounded to me like you were saying that there's this contentious relationship between Christians and atheists, or religious people and atheists, and you're seeing more fault kind of on the religious side because they're not really promoting scientific skepticism and promoting the tools that cause people to explore the universe around them. And that's kind of the last that I got from what you were saying.
Yeah. And then in addition to that, we also have not done a very good job at living out the ideals that we're supposed to live out. We haven't done a good job at ensuring that people who are in need are cared for.
Well,
and we haven't done a good job at kind of, minding our own business and taking care of ourselves first. And
So the reason that I had asked so early what your beliefs were because it kind of sounds like you're going somewhere, and it's like when you say something like, we're not acting the way that we're supposed to, I wonder why you say that. I wonder, how are we supposed to act?
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, well, what do you believe? Because I'm just trying to kind of get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Sure.
Give us some meat to chew in to. You've set up the stage. We're ready. Now we're ready to engage with you.
Yeah. As I've spent more time and doing more digging into what it actually meant to be a religious person, and specifically for my religion, it meant, trying to actually live out what the Bible says you're supposed to do. There's, I can't remember who it is, but there's Rob Bell, I think his name is, had a teaching that basically said that some of the original Jews, they would find a rabbi and they would follow him, and their job was to do their best to be like their rabbi too. And so the application is that we're really supposed to, as Christians, just do our best to live the way Christ would.
Okay.
And
this is starting to sound
for the
like,
most part,
Alex, this is starting to sound like a sermon. We're wanting,
sorry.
We're wanting to engage with you, but you're not asking us any questions or giving us any statements that we can bounce back with you. You got to help here.
It's okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous. Anyway, my whole point is just that that's what I try to do. Like I try not to mix politics with religion, that sort of thing, just because that's what I feel like I'm supposed to do. So those are kind of my personal beliefs, that it's like I should really be minding my own business. I should be doing my best to take care of the people around me, just because that's what I believe he would have done. And I don't see the church in America, especially, doing that. What I see is a lot of argumentative behavior.
Right, and you're completely right, and it's frustrating. And what
this is just starting to sound like like you're wondering if you're doing the right thing or talking about a thing. This might not be the right platform or show for this kind of conversation. This is more of something where we engage
but real quick,
with each other.
Real quick before we change. Well, when I think about what I'm supposed to do, what am I supposed to do, and how I used to think about it and how I think about it now, and I used to be a Catholic. I used to think about, well, who am I going to ask to tell me what I'm supposed to do? And so I'm spending my entire life seeking out other people that are supposed to be the perfect example of what I'm supposed to be. And I found out that I'm not going to find that, because there is no perfect person. There is no perfect example of who I'm supposed to be. I have to find that out myself. So when I think about anything that I'm supposed to do, when it comes to anything, like, for example, minding your own business, I'm not exactly minding my own business right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reaching out to people, and I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to have conversations. I'm trying to influence change. I'm not exactly minding my own business. Is minding your own business necessarily the only way to be? Well, sometimes yeah, and sometimes no. It just kind of depends. So it's up to you ultimately to decide what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. It does. Absolutely. Yeah.
Is that helpful?
I guess it is. Yeah, I guess if there's a question that I would pose to the two of you, then is the conversation has turned, it seems to me, less from a question of does God exist or does God not exist to a bunch of people on both sides just trying to shout each other down and force each other to convert one way or the other. And it seems to me that as long as everybody was just, people could kind of go to their churches and believe what they wanted to believe and not oppress anybody with their beliefs, and people that didn't believe anything could not believe anything, and that was fine. And
but now racist Uncle Bill that you only had to deal with twice a year for the holidays has the internet and has been let loose on the world, and everybody's crazy Uncle Bill and racist Uncle Bill and it's terrifying. Like I totally get it. I think the best way to approach that though is to recognize that toxicity's been there. We're just learning as a society how to deal with it now that we can't turn our heads away and ignore it.
And that's why we're here on this show and trying to have these calm, respectful conversations, is because we're sick of it too.
Totally, man.
We want to talk.
Gotcha.
So
how about on your end, you promote that, on our end, we'll promote it.
Yeah.
And we'll try and make this world a better place from both sides.
That makes sense. Do you think there's still a place where both of those people can go back to coexisting peacefully?
it depends person to person, I think.
But I really fucking hope so.
I mean...
We've got a lot of work to do, and we have to share this world together. We can't agree on every last thing before we're ready to be neighbors. We can disagree on things. Here's the difference. The difference is there are organizations, and I think you and I would probably agree that we can take a look at horrible, what did the scathing atheists call them? Rape cabal, the Catholic Church? Right? That there are organizations that are actively hiding child predators, right, and preventing them from coming to justice, right? We have organizations where there are these pastors that are standing up and saying, "Oh, I can heal you if you give me all of your money." There are people who are taking advantage of people who are on a fixed income. The poorest among us are being taken advantage of by prosperity gospel crud. And while we do have to live and work together, when we see injustice, when we see hate being espoused, doesn't matter where it comes from, right? If we see someone taking advantage of people that we should be caring for, we're going to stand up.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be the change that we want to see in the world. And you can do it too.
Absolutely. I think that's all any of us can do.
Yeah.
Well, we hope so.
We're on the same page.
All right. I think that's a good place to end it, man.
Call back sometime.
Thank you. Take care.
Thanks. You too.
That was upbeat.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So right now, we're talking about this. We're talking about making the world a better place. And yet right now in Orlando, Florida, there's a hate conference going on. And it's heartening to see the amount of people who are standing up and going, "This is wrong." Mm-hmm. And it does hurt to see that hate, but it's not new. We just aren't able to close our eyes to it anymore. And so it
the more we talk about it, the more it motivates people. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, that's how I got motivated to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.